Hello, lovely people out there. I am Lisa for those of you who are new to my channel, but for those of you who aren't, well, I really do hope that you love books as much as I do. As most of you are aware, Valentine's Day is like a month away, so maybe it's a little early filming this, I'm not sure, but personally, I love Valentine's Day. I will tell you as a fact that I have been single for every single Valentine's Day up until this point. And I've been very happy. Like, I don't know, I always do fun things to celebrate. I exchange gifts with friends, I watch movies, and obviously I read books. I just want to share the love and let you guys know what my favorite books are, just to give you guys some ideas in case you're also into this whole theme of love and such. So let's get started. This is probably one of my favorite books ever. It's called The Selection by Kira Cass. So it is a trilogy, but there are, I think, 6 books total to the series. I mean, including the little short stories novel. But this is like the first part of it. Basically, it's about a girl named America Singer, but it's like after all these wars. So now the only way to keep peace is by caste. So there's just divisions of society, and every single one that's ranked is sort of has these job expectations. America is from one of the lower castes, so she's fairly poor and she's very artistic. So she loves singing, she loves her musical instruments. There's a tradition that occurs every new generation. So it's where the prince has to choose a wife by random selection, I believe. But whatever, America Singer is chosen for this competition. 35 girls, and frankly, she just doesn't want to be a part of this. She leads a very simple life, and she like straight up says, like, I don't have feelings for Prince Maxon. Like, my heart is set for this other guy back at home. But obviously she does get to know Prince Maxon. I can't spoil anything, but it's a really, really cute novel because she's just so different from all the other girls. You know, like, she likes her jeans, she's very simplistic, she's not into all these gowns and such. The second part to the series, it's called The Heir, but now instead of the prince choosing a girl, now it's the opposite. Now it's a princess who has to find herself a king. I think that what I really liked about the series is just getting to really know these other characters, all these suitors and all these, you know, applicants. And it's just, honestly guys, like, if you're into this stuff, I suggest that you purchase the series like right now. Like, open a tab and just type in The Selection. Now this is another one of those lighter romances, and it's called The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. And now before I explain this one, I'd like to just share a quote with you, because I feel like it's make these videos like more special if I have a quote up by an author. And this one is by Casey West, who I think I pulled it right from the book. So it's, mocking someone else to make us seem deep or intelligent proves the exact opposite. And like, I love this quote. It gives you a little bit of an idea of what it's about. For the deeper details, I just want to give you guys a very broad overview. So it's about a girl named Gia, and she's dating this college guy, but her best friends don't believe her. They're like, there's no freaking way. And she's like, yes way. So now prom is approaching, and actually on the day of prom, her boyfriend breaks up with her in the school parking lot, and she's like, no, at least stay for at least a little bit longer just so I can prove you exist. And, you know, he's a little bit offended. He's like, well, is that all you really want me for? So he leaves, and this girl, I mean, what girl isn't crazy? But this one is just, she takes it to an extreme, or at least she does something wildly inappropriate, and she goes and, in my opinion, she goes and finds a random stranger in the parking lot who looks about his age and height, and she's like, hey, do you want to like just be my boyfriend for a day? And he's like, sure, I got nothing better to do. She ends up lying to her friends and saying that this guy is her boyfriend, and they somewhat fall for it, and they're like unconvinced. So she continues trying to make them believe it. Meanwhile, he also has his ex-girlfriends to worry about, and so they just become friends. Yeah, I can't give away much. But aside from all that, going back to like the quotes and everything, this novel really focuses on the idea that social media and whatever people say about you does not really define who you are. It's something that you find within yourself. Don't need like a big number of people to give you attention for you to actually feel wanted in this world or feel like you know your place. For those of you philosophers out there, or just anybody looking for something nice and cute, read this. Obviously, love comes in many forms, and one of them is definitely friendship. So I honestly, guys, like, I'm going to force you to read this. So it's called Memoirs of an Imaginary Friend by Matthew Dix, and I read this a couple of years ago, and I will just never forget reading it because it's one of those really unique books that you just, honestly, I've never read anything like it before. Essentially, it's about this imaginary friend, and that's actually the perspective it's told in. So it's about an imaginary friend named Budo, and his creator, you could call him, is an 8-year-old named Max. And Max is very unsophisticated. Like, he's still a child. He's very playful, and the thing is, though, he's very antisocial, so he just has his imaginary friend, and he refuses to make any other contact with anybody else. And, you know, he's often bullied at school, so of course he clings to his imaginary friend who loves him more than anything. Budo goes around, there are actually multiple settings throughout the story, but he has his other friends, his other imaginary friends, not that he created, like, that children created. It's one of those coming of age novels, so it's also something really sad. Like, when I read it, like, it brought me to tears. He notices that as Max is aging, his imaginary friends are slowly fading, and he's like, what's happening? Like, why are there parts of you that are missing? And they tell him, they're like, because my friend is growing up, he's forgetting about me. And then Budo just puts himself in place, and he's like, wait, does that mean that one day I'm going to disappear? And yeah, so there's a little bit of sadness in here. But aside from the sadness and also the cute aspect, I picked up on the humor, like, really easily. So for your funnier stories, just like the previous one I've talked about, that one's also a little bit funny. Yeah, there you have it. Now, as for something more devious or something also a little bit abstract, this one is called Even When You Lie to Me, and it is by Jessica Alcott. And before I bought this, like, I was kind of contemplative. I was like, Well, I did read it, and I think that I finished it so quickly because I was like, damn. For those of you who are into Pretty Little Liars, this is your book. Because, okay, I really hope that most of you get the reference, but think of Arya and Ezra. Yeah, it's kind of the same idea here. Now there's a girl, and she has this one friend. I don't know, she had like 1 or 2 friends, I think, in the story. But she finds herself ugly. She's like, oh, no one's ever gonna like me. And then she's also viewing all these other relationships, and she's like, oh, I wonder if I'll ever have that. She's just a basic teenager still trying to identify herself. She does know for a fact that English is her life. So she's like me. Like, she knows that she just loves reading. And so what happens next is school starts, and she's in her English class, and she becomes very infatuated with her teacher. So yes, it's about a student and a teacher having an affair. But the thing is, like, they know their boundaries and they're like, nope, can't happen. So they become really close, and they have like so much in common. And for once, this protagonist feels loved, and she feels appreciated. She feels different around him. I mean, can I personally relate to this? Maybe not, because I've never had a crush on a teacher, thank God. That would have been strange, but I guess it's relatable to the extent that we all feel insecure. The Romantics by Lee Conan. This is another one of those unique stories because it is told in the point of view of love. Gail Brennan, who is a serial monogamist, and he knows that he's a hopeless romantic, that he's always going to be chasing after girls. But he's had a girlfriend for a month, and suddenly she cheats on him with his best friend, and the grief. Of course, he picks a fight with his best friend. He's like, how could you do this to me, bro? Like, this is not fair. Continues to find love, and this is crazy, but you know, love has its ways. So love lets him meet this one girl randomly. Realizes that they have just nothing in common, except that she too is a serial monogamist, and she'd like to date him, and so would he, but they want to wait at least a month, especially she, because she's like, my friends and I have a bet, so I'm not really allowed to be dating for a month. So they're like, okay, let's get to know each other some more. So they go on some dates. But alongside her, there's another girl, but he does not have feelings for her. They're just like family friends, and you know, that kind of jazz. I mean, you'll see what happens. I am reading Under Rose-Tainted Skies, and it is by Louise Gornell. Yeah. The cover is beautiful, and I think it's a new release. So I bought a bookmark, and it just really suits the cover. So far, what I know about this particular novel is that there is a girl and she has agoraphobia. So yeah, she has like anxiety problems. Here, I'll read you a little bit. But when Luke arrives on her doorstep, he doesn't see a girl defined by medical terms and mental health. Instead, he sees a girl who is funny, smart, and brave. And Nora likes what he sees. So I'm liking it so far from like the first like 60 pages or so that I've read. That is my collection of favorites. Romance and friendship, just anything love related novels. And thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye!